and welcome back to my channel. I am Mindy, and today I'm going to be talking about feminine and masculine energies and how to utilize efficiently your dominant energy, whether it is feminine or masculine energy. You haven't heard me talk about this earlier on my channel, but this subject is something that I've been digesting lately, and I want my channel for it to be a authentic expression of myself and of the things that I learned, and I feel from the inside that I want to share with others. So that's what this video is about. And before I start, please subscribe and hit the like button so you help me to reach more people. All right, so one of the main problems of many people are based on not knowing their dominant energy, because once you know what your dominant energy is, you can navigate life in an easier way. And this subject of feminine and masculine doesn't have to do with a particular gender. So it's not about being a woman or being a man. It's about what is your dominant energy. When I say energy, I'm not talking about gender. I'm talking about way of feeling, basically, or way of thinking, according to what's your dominant energy. So the feminine energy is more flowy. It's all about going with the flow, being happy, creativity. It's about emotion. It's about changes. It's never constant. It's always moving, changing. And just to give small traits, and the masculine energy is about focus, efficiency. It's about accomplishing goals. It's grounded, it's stable, it's not as changeable as the feminine energy is. And why I say that this can be a problem when you don't know what your dominant energy is, it's because many of us, including myself, everybody has their own dominant energy, but many of us, because of circumstances in our lives, we protected ourselves with an exterior, like a sort of being that it's not our authentic way of being, and that is maybe the opposite to what your dominant energy is. So for a woman, let's say, whose dominant energy is a masculine energy because she's just more rational by nature, so she can just focus on one task, she just thrives doing that, because in her surroundings, her family or people around her were criticizing her. She put this shield around her where she's trying to behave in a more you can call it even girly way, but that's not about it. It's more about being more sensitive, and she doesn't understand why she's not really sensitive, but she tries to do that, and she tries to compromise her nature in relationships, and she's actually falls for very masculine men with very masculine traits, and she presents herself as this very feminine person when in reality she's this kind of masculine energy, carrying this masculine energy inside, and she is a straight woman with a masculine energy. And this can happen also to a masculine man, a feminine man covering themselves with the masculine kind of shields. But also it can happen to a feminine woman like myself covering themselves with a masculine shield. So why this is a problem? It's because you're not living in authenticity, and the circumstances in your life pushed you to have the shield and to perform and to pretend you're someone you're not. And therefore you not only navigate life, you navigate not only your personal relationships, but how you make decisions, how you perform your work, how you act in certain situations in a way that is just not you. And that can be very it just leads to unhappiness. And so that's actually my own case. So I had for many years covered myself with this very masculine shield, which means that I was often in this sort of reactive way of being. So if someone would tell me something, I would immediately just react and be very angry. I would not allow for people to really get close to me. I would also try to be very rational in the way that I make decisions for work and for personal matters, because I learned from young age that somehow I couldn't rely on my parents. So I've been analyzing myself, as you can see. I also go to therapy, so there is a lot of work behind of the things that I'm telling you. So I've understood what is it. So I had to present myself in a way that I was my own man, basically, which is something good, because we all need to have the two energies. So it's not that because if you're a feminine woman you don't need the masculine traits, or if you are a masculine woman you don't need the feminine. It's not like that how it works. So when you're in a situation where you're putting this shield around you that does not belong to you, you live an unauthentic life. So that's one of the most problematic things here. And so in my case, I did that for many years. I realized that many of my problems, including these kind of breakdowns every month, had to do with the fact that I was actually living my life from a place that didn't feel natural. And that is what this whole subject is about. It's about living in your natural state, because that's the easiest way to navigate life. It's just another tool, just like Myers-Briggs that I so much talk about on this channel, just like any Enneagram, just like any other self-development tool. So in order for you to detect if you're living in your most authentic place, or how can you use your most dominant energy, you have to first of all detect what's your dominant energy. That means you have to really analyze yourself. You have to go and check out how, when you, let's say, during your day at work, when you make decisions from this rational point of view, efficiency, do you thrive? Do you feel accomplished? Do you feel good after doing that? Or do you feel better if you just go with the flow with your emotions, like I do? And I decide, what am I going to do for work? I also have the opportunity, like I have a life that allows me to do that. And I build up a life around that, being able to flow, because I noticed that that was something very important to me. But that's also something very important because of this feminine flow that seems to be my most natural way of being. So you have to detect when you're using which energy, when are you the most happy and natural and relaxed, what makes you feel okay. So you can, as I said, you can be a man who just feels amazingly good when you're relying on your feelings to take actions, when you're relying on your emotions to take action. So that's the first step. And this is, again, I have a second point, it's not about gender. So before you jump on and write in the comments something that has nothing to do with what I'm saying, remember, I'm not talking about gender, I'm talking about energy. So when you determine what your most natural energy is, it doesn't mean that you will only rely on that one. So let me explain that. So let's say I realize that choosing what's the next point and like what's the next thing I'm going to do in my life, I don't choose it logically, I choose it by my feeling. I choose it in a feminine way. It doesn't mean that I don't use masculine, because after I have chosen, I've let my intuition guide me, my feeling and my creativity and all of that. I need the masculine energy in order to accomplish things, in order to focus. Again, using the masculine energy, it's not that efficient for me. It's not that easy for me. I cannot focus that much. And on top of that, let's say I'm an ENFP, so maybe there is a correlation here. So what happens then is that I use the masculine energy in order to focus in that decision that I made with my feminine. So the masculine serves the feminine, but it's exactly the other way around for a man or a woman who is strong in masculine energy. And let's say they can choose easily what is going to be the next step in their career, or what to do with a relationship or any sort of thing. They just make a decision based on this rational approach and based on productivity and based on efficiency. All of this is a masculine, but after let's say they decided and made a decision and they put into action the plan, they need to use their feminine energy as well. They need to be able to let it flow as well in order to use creativity along the way, in order to adjust the plan whenever it's not feeling good, whenever it's not bringing them to the results that they want. So you really need to feel that flow and the creativity also when you are strongly anchored in your masculine energy more than in your feminine. So the point is here is like a point of evolution where you understand what is your natural tendency, you understand it, you use it in order to get the best out of life, but you will need the opposite energy in order to be a complete human being. In order to bring things into fruition, you need both. You understand? All right, so the masculine core utilizing their feminine side, let's say, is stop trying to feel too much to start doing something. So this is something interesting. So when this is a good example for a masculine core person. So when they try to rely too much on their emotions in order to navigate life, they are very unhappy. So stop. It's just like, it's all about recognizing, that's what this video is about, recognizing your strengths and stop trying to do something that doesn't fit you. So if you have a masculine core, if you're a woman or a man, doesn't matter, and when you start, you think that the best is to rely on your emotions, or you just do that naturally because, again, maybe life showed you that you have to be that way, maybe your family, maybe you didn't have the feminine part in your life and you started to bring, like, to try to overcompensate in your life. So then when you use that, it's just not going to be the best outcome because you don't thrive. So again, in order to choose what's your most dominant energy, you have to choose where you thrive. So I hope that you like this video. Let me know in your comments, in the comment section, what you think about it. I'm so happy to bring on more of this content. So leave your comments below. Let me know what is your dominant energy. And if you feel with what I'm saying, remember that you can treat me to coffees as well in the description below. There is one-on-one sessions available for MBTI, for discovering your purpose, for multi-potentialite people. So check the information below. Let's stay in touch and see you next time.